Khobe, welcome to the Cape. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Elias. Thank you for having me, man.
Exciting times, my friend. Firefly Lane finally has arrived, I believe today, right?
Today is the day,
That's
dude.
right.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind.
So, how does it feel to be a part of a series like this?
I feel so lucky and so fortunate, man. It's like this is not an easy game that we choose to play as actors, and people go a long time before maybe getting the opportunity that I was so gracefully given. And I really hope I made the most of it and people enjoy it. But yeah, just so fortunate and kind of blindsided by the whole thing. But
Uh,
yeah.
We're gonna jump more into the series in a few minutes, but let's talk about your journey to the acting world. How did you get yourself into this? How did you? What made you go for it?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's the only thing I can really remember properly wanting to do. But from a young age, I was pretty involved in the musical theater game in any aspect I could. I did a lot of summer camps that consisted of doing theater shows and getting up on stage singing. So I think it was just the exposure to it as a young age. My parents are super supportive of kind of my interest in it, and it just snowballed. I just loved it. It's like the only thing I do where I feel completely free. So if I can
Amazing.
continue to do that, yeah.
What's the ultimate goal for you? What do you think?
To tell stories, I guess, tell stories that interest me. I think in the grand scheme of things, it's if I can just express myself through this for as long as I possibly can, that's the goal, whether, no matter the size of the project, just to continue being able to act.
You mentioned telling a story. What do you enjoy the most about the industry?
Yeah, I mean, there's two sides of it. Like I love movies. I obviously, they're kind of my first love in a lot of ways. So there is the consuming of it, consuming of a story, kind of getting to escape in someone else's imagination and to follow along in something is I love it so much, whether it's a book or a movie or a TV show. But getting to tell the story is a whole different side of that passion. It's like now you're it's so bizarre, it's completely different. It's like you are inhibiting this character and you get to express the arc. And I think the thing I love the most about it is that you get to explore someone that you aren't, and it's kind of an interesting removal from your everyday life.
I need to ask that Departed. That's one of my favorite movies back there.
Is it, dude?
I see the poster and everything. It's
It's a
like
classic, man. That's an example of a great story. Like story is king, just like how everything wraps in. Oh man, it's just I've seen that movie countless times. Congratulations.
would you love to get your hands on something like that?
Oh, dude, yeah, I would pay money. I would do it for free. I'd sleep under a bridge to be able to, yeah, to do something like that, to play like a Leo character, even the Mark Wahlberg character in The Departed, so great. Just yeah, that would be that's definitely the pinnacle. That would be to be able to do that. I think I'd die happy directly after wrapping something like that.
You mentioned Leo or Wahlberg also. Is there somebody in the industry you look up to? You try to watch their film and everything just to make your craft better?
Yeah, so many people, man. I think yeah, obviously Leo is just a king and has just made such an example of consistency, and he never really turns in something bad and has been doing it since What's Eating Gilbert Grape in the 90s. So Leo's up there. Viola Davis is I just am like baffled every time I watch her work. Daniel Day-Lewis is
Mhm.
probably the top one for me. I could watch that guy a centimeter away and I wouldn't see a mistake. And yeah, really studying his stillness is yeah, inspires me a lot.
You mentioned Dan Day-Lewis. It's great about him is like he just picks and chooses what he wants to do. That's why you don't
That's
see him. That's why you don't see him that much.
That's why you don't see. He's off in Italy making shoes, maybe. And if he gets a good script, he'll go and do it. And I
That's
think,
right.
yeah, just that of the total agency of he's kind of he's obviously worked a lot. I think he's retired now, but yeah, to be able to pick,
Yeah.
like, let alone get chosen, but to pick what you want to do, insane.
I know in Firefly when we see you like as a athlete jock type of person, like, but is there like a goal, ultimate role that you want to try to get your hands on someday?
Yeah, I think yeah, good question. I think the further away from myself that I get to play, the better. So
Mm.
whatever that may be, like psychologically, if I get to play someone that I never have shown a shade of before, that would be interesting. Coop is very close to me. And I loved playing him, you know, that the sensitive jock type who is in the play. I was that kid. I was doing the high school musicals and then would have to go to basketball practice still in makeup and hear it from the whole team. So I do relate to that, which is why I loved it. But yeah, the goal is to play someone that I never will be.
So yeah, let's jump right into Firefly. I mean, mentioned Coop and everything. This the series is based off a book. Did you get a chance to read the books? Is Coop in the books? Do you know anything about this?
I did not get a chance to read the book. I should have. I totally should have. I do not think Coop is in the book. I think Coop
Okay.
was kind of a last minute call by the writers to throw me in there. Bless them for that one. Yeah.
Which made your life probably a lot easier because then you could put your own spin in this character.
Yeah, I think there, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of maybe not rules, but you know, kind of guidelines these characters have to follow because they're from a book and from a you know a prior story, or they're playing younger versions of one another or older versions of one another. And for Coop, it was kind of he was just this one dude in this one timeline, so I got to kind of make it my own, which just was just amazing.
For the writers, what kind of description they come up with Coop for you?
Coop, I could probably bring it up in word, but it was yeah, the popular high school dude who plays the
Yeah.
love interest to young and naive Kate Malarkey. You know, he plays the football guy, maybe explores a more sensitive side with the Romeo and Juliet. Just your classic maybe Troy Bolton-esque
Yeah.
character.
What did you love about this character?
I love the I loved how close he felt to myself. I think you know, I'm in my early 20s now, but Coop was, you know, 17, 18 years old. So I think I loved being able to kind of go back to feeling like that high school version of myself, where the only thing that mattered in the world was,
Mm.
you know, in the confines of the classroom and the hallways and, you know, who's doing the play and who's seeing who. And that it kind of, you know, seems so juvenile now, but to kind of escape back to that part of my life where that's the only thing that bothered me was kind of refreshing and fun.
Mm. Your character is also in the 70s. How is it filming those type of scenes in the 70s? And
Yeah,
wearing the
man.
clothes too.
Yeah, oh God, the clothes. I had these awesome like Marty McFly type esque sneakers that just made me feel so great. And the, you know, some of it was a little tight. The leather jackets were, you know, definitely something. But yeah, the clothes were fun. I liked the lingo. Like I like to, you know, if it's permissed to ad lib a little bit on set and kind of make it more natural off the page. But you really couldn't with this because there's such a specific kind of dialect in the 70s that we had to stick to. I remember saying a couple things and people were like, man, nobody said that in 1970, whatever. So that was a challenge for sure.
Throughout the episodes, we see you go you get involved a lot with Kate, which is played by Roan, which I had her on the show in the first part of this past
Nice.
season and everything. Like you're kind of like, there's a secret between you two pretty much. You guys are making out, I guess, if you want to say that,
Yeah, yeah.
fooling around, stuff like
There's a little
that.
making out, there's a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
fooling around.
Secret hanging out hookups,
Yeah.
how do you describe that chemistry between you two?
Between me and Roan?
Yeah.
Oh man, I could go on and on about how talented and amazing that girl is. Roan is yeah, she's a battle axe powerhouse. I was super nervous, man. I remember with one of the directors and Roan, we kind of pulled off to the side room to talk about one of our fooling around scenes. And I'm shaking, like teeth chattering, shaking. And they're like, Kobe, you're so cold. Like, let's grab your coat. I'm like, no, I'm not cold. I'm nervous. And because it was the first thing I've ever done, and it was the first day I got to set, they threw me into this like crazy intimate scene with Roan, and she like put me on her back. She held my hand through the whole thing and made me feel so comfortable. And yeah, we formed a fantastic friendship that kind of for the rest of shooting will like it made our scenes so fun and natural. Yeah, she's the best.
How do you describe like the story between you two? Because we also see there's a certain scene, where Kate feels guilty because her friend Lisa Karen, which I had her on the show too.
Kira LaRue, man.
Carol Lewis. So she had, I don't want to give it away, spoilers, but
Yeah. Yeah.
describe like that whole story between everybody.
Yeah, I think well for Coop and Kate, you know, Coop is kind of the popular dude, and I think he's worried about his image and his identity, and he feels that when it's attached to young Kate Malarkey, who's not the most popular girl in the school, he feel it would be like tainted almost. So there is this kind of insecurity and this embarrassment which I think I'm sure would be fun to watch. But it's yeah, he kind of hides her, and
Mm.
she lets him, which is sad. But yeah, it is this interesting kind of together they're this amazing little couple, and then apart he's like not super nice and talks down to her as if nothing ever happened.
There's a special episode we see you singing. You gotta tell us a little bit about that. Barry
Oh
Manilow,
man.
Mandy.
Oh man. Yeah,
How did
man.
how did you like? Were you even like approached and asked about this? What happened?
I one of the producers texted me and they were like, "Hey, we have your character singing Mandy." And Elias, I'm not going to tell him no, right?
Right, right.
Otherwise, they're gonna get the next guy to do it. So without even thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I'll sing Mandy, absolutely. And so they hired this great vocal coach, Doug, to help me out. We did some sessions in his studio, and I remember everyone, Rowan and Allie and Kira, were asking me about it. I didn't want to say anything because I was so embarrassed, and I was thinking they'd kind of play it in a quiet room so we could get the playback. No, man, I jumped right on that stage, and there's like 120 background, attendees of the play we're doing,
Yeah.
and they blasted this song in the speakers, and I remember sweat dripping down my back, looking over at Rowan and Allie, just like hiding their smiles. It was intimidating. Good experience though. Good exposure therapy. You just got to get up there and do it.
Right. Did you like go and listen to the way Barry Manilow sings it just to like try to, or you
Dude,
just did it on your own?
no, I listened to Barry. I beat that dead horse, man. I probably never will listen to that song again. I listened to that song, yeah, thousands of times with Doug by myself before I did it, just to, yeah, yeah, endlessly.
In the series, what's your favorite moment?
Oh, great question. I think, oh, um, I think there's this lovely moment where Roan and they had this rain tower over this super old car that Coop drove. And it was just her and I in there under this rain tower doing this scene together. It felt, and like the camera's kind of behind us or was outside shooting in. It felt like kind of just this slice of life. And we kind of got to enjoy the moment together. And yeah, it was like without the whole busy set feeling of everything, it kind of just felt like two people hanging out in the car.
Mm.
Yeah, that was great. Everything and everything was fantastic.
Did you keep anything offset from for your character, Coop?
Dude, I didn't. Those sneakers, those Marty McFly sneakers I was talking about, those continue to haunt me. I wish I got to bring those home. No, I didn't. I have some wonderful photos, but that's about it.
There you go. What do you in this performance for this series? What are you hoping for when people tune in to watch this? What are you hoping they remember mostly out of your performance?
I hope, oh man, now that
Barry
you're
Manilow.
You know what? I think so because it's the thing I'm the most nervous about. Yeah, maybe Barry Manilow. I think it was definitely the most shocking to me to watch,
Mm.
and my grandmother. So I think, yeah, I hope they like Mandy. I hope they love Barry Manilow. Takes me back to the musical theater roots.
What do you think? You think the fans of Firefly Lane are gonna start like DMing you on Instagram, everything talking about your character and everything throughout
Oh
the
boy.
did you have you thought about that yet?
I haven't. And you know what? I think if it means that they're enjoying the show and the character, then yeah, man, that would be lovely to see that kind of lovely feedback. The internet is such a scary
Right.
danger soup to me. So if this yields love from the fan base, then that's all I can ask for.
Right. Well, it's true because you put yourself out there, you're playing this character and everything, and people are gonna love it, people are gonna hate it. There's always
Exactly.
gonna be like, this doesn't end. People might
It's
hate this interview, who knows?
I hope so. I hope not, man. I hope not. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's like sending your child off to
Right.
school with a bunch of cyberbullies. It's like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope not, man. I mean, you have to prepare for you have to prepare for the worst, but yeah, I think it'll be met with love. I'm
Amazing. Yeah,
optimistic.
yeah. There you go. There you go. So we have part two that just got released today. Little real quick, I want to know about Yellowjackets because I love that show. Tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about that.
right on. Yeah, dude, Yellowjackets is well, that was my first. I did the pilot like a while ago, a year and some bit
Mm.
ago. Played a guy named Kyle, filmed the audition in my little studio apartment here in Vancouver, just with the held my phone up, first ever paid acting job. I remember getting there just like so confused. My only film and TV experience at that point was doing student films. So, getting to that set and seeing 80 people run around to accomplish one task, it's insane how they do it. And I felt so intimidated. And yeah, that show's amazing. And the cast is lovely. I remember the first day, Melanie Linsky, the lead, she kind of caught wind that it was my very first day on a set. And when we wrapped on my scene, she was like, and that's a wrap on Khobe's first day on a set. And everyone clapped and I was just red. Yeah, it was amazing. And to go back for the second season, it just felt, yeah, pretty cool, dude. Like that's a huge show. People love that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What's next for you now? Any other projects you want to tell us about that you got coming out or working on?
I always hope that there's some next that's kind of the long lost privilege of this industry. But nothing at the moment. I'm up for something pretty substantial, and we're waiting to hear on that. I'll let you know, Elias. I will let you know.
That's awesome. Khobe, how can the listeners and viewers now find you on social media, keep up with you?
Yeah, my Instagram is just my name, Khobe Clarke, and yeah, I like posting what I'm doing on there. That's where you can update it.
There you go, Khobe. I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes today. This was great.
Thank you, man. Go Patriots.
Thank you.